Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Snow Show episode number 3. Special guest with me today, Pat Fraher. And the reason he's special is because he's an NBA referee, and we are just lucky to have him. Pat, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you, Greg?
Awesome. I get to talk to one of my better friends. I know that you probably don't feel the same way, but I go back down memory lane to Hastings Country Club, and I don't even remember the year, Pat. Maybe you do, when we first met. Do you happen to remember how long ago that was? It was at a Pro-Am, Hastings Country Club. You played with my best friend, Jack Worrell, and Jack says, you got to come meet this guy, Greg. You're going to love this.
It was epic. I think that's how the kids would say it now. Epic. We ended up winning that Pro-Am, if I remember correctly.
That's right, because you had Fred Booz. Remember him?
Yes, and we went eagle, birdie on the last hole to win. So good
Would
time.
2006 be approximately correct? 2008, somewhere in there?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, so I've known Pat for about 13 years. We played a lot of golf together. And when I say a lot, probably 10 to 15 rounds. I remember one time sitting in a car with you, listening to talk to another official, and my eyes were wide open, which we won't hit on today. But mainly, Pat, I wanted to get kind of your story, and I think people will be interested. You see, I wore my shirt for you today.
I like it.
I like to dress up the part, although you guys don't wear these anymore, do you? You wear like fancy, like just block colors now because you don't want to stand out, right?
We're in gray with a black what do they call it? Like a black insert with black shoulders. So it's changed over the years.
I do like that every year where I'm like, oh, that's a new outfit that they have on this year. And I'm supposed that when you're losing, because you go up and down in your weight, right?
No, I'm actually pretty steady. Yeah.
Okay. What are you running at right now? We can talk
about 175.
My goodness. No wonder why you don't hit the ball very far.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just a little guy.
No, Pat's a really good golfer, everybody. He doesn't think he is, and he's very self-degrading out there. But are you that way still?
No, I'm a brand new man now.
Well, we might get into that too, because I do want to hit that topic. So, Pat, so it was back at Hastings, 2006. Jack Worrell comes up to me. He says, Greg, you got to meet this guy. He's the biggest dork I know. He's got NBA socks on. And I thought, why would anybody wear NBA socks to a golf tournament? And so Jack asked you, and you're like, well, I'm an NBA referee. Like, you're very matter-of-factly, which I think a lot of referees like us are, of like, I'm an NBA referee. That's why I would wear these socks. And Jack's like, oh, you have to meet my buddy. He loves the NBA. And my first question to you, if you remember, was, why did Shaquille O'Neal get all those calls way back when the Timberwolves were playing them in the Western Conference Finals? And I think you were on one of those games, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct or no?
No, I wasn't.
So anyways, we'll skip off that topic because there are some things that we can and cannot talk about, which Pat is going to hold me accountable to. Pat, go way back. When did you want to become a basketball referee? Were you in high school? Were you in kindergarten? When did you start saying, I want to start blowing the whistle on people?
Yeah, I decided that I was going to take a shot at it when I was 17. And the idea was that I was going to at least try, make an attempt. And the last thing I wanted to do was be on my couch, when I was 40, wondering if I ever could have made it. So 17 was about the time where we decided we were going to take a run at it.
And what high school were you at that point? Because you are a Minnesota native.
Yep. Hastings High School, class of 92.
Class of 92. You're only 1 year older than me. That's crazy. Oh, my goodness. You got a lot of years left then in the NBA.
Well, God willing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you decide I want to do it. So where did you start? Did you start doing little kids 7th and 8th grade? Did you do AAU? What was your first angle? And I know your dad's in officiating.
Right.
So did he kind of push you into that, or did you think I kind of want to be like Pops?
I always enjoyed spending time with my dad, and as far as officiating goes, what's an interesting part of my story is a partner that he refereed a ton of high school and college games with was Kenny Maurer. Mm-hmm. So I met Kenny Maurer, who was the first NBA referee from Minnesota, probably when I was about 6 years old. And Kenny wasn't hired yet. He was in the CBA. So I basically watched him as I grew up, I watched him go through the minor leagues and end up getting hired in the NBA. I think he was hired in '86, and so it gave me the idea that this could be a gig. So I did my first game when I was 15 years old, and it was an 8th grade game. So I was a year older than the players.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's when you first got doing it. Did your dad give you all the tips to kind of when to put your arm up, when to blow the whistle? Who was your mentor, so to speak?
Well, my first mentor would be my dad. He gave me the basics, and through watching Kenny, he became my second and biggest mentor. But those two gave me a lot.
Okay, so now I believe you went to the University of Minnesota. Is that correct?
I did.
And so
I'm sorry.
During that time, where was your officiating at?
So I started when I was 15. I did my first high school varsity game when I was 17. I was a junior, and I was refereeing the varsity Irondale game. I don't know who they played, but again, I was younger than some of the players.
Yeah.
I went to my first referee camp when I was 19, coast to coast referee school, and I went back when I was 20, and then after that camp, I got hired in the CBA at 20.
So you were still a University of Minnesota student when you worked at CBA?
Correct.
How does that work?
Yeah, I gave the CBA when they asked for my availability, I could only give them weekends. So I was going to mechanical engineering school during the week, and then refereeing in small towns during the weekends.
So at that point in your life, Pat, you were thinking, I want to be a mechanical engineer, and this reffing will just be something, or were you just doing mechanical engineering to be a big time referee?
Refereeing was plan A. And then thanks to my mom for staying on my case to get my degree, engineering was plan B.
Okay, so you get done with the CBA, or you're in the CBA, and now when did the WNBA hire you? Because that was your first professional. Well, CBA is professional, but that was your next jump up, correct?
Right. So I graduated from the U, 97, and I got a job at Lockheed Martin as an engineer, and I was an engineer for 4 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I continued to referee on the weekends. And then I would work during the week. So I got hired in the WNBA in 97, and I spent 4 seasons in the WNBA as well.
So that's still 2001. Meanwhile, during all that, you still have to go to camps. Is that correct?
Yeah. Summer camp for me started, I think, in 96. I started going to summer camp for the NBA.
So I know, Pat, during golf, I've asked you a lot of these, and you're probably tired of answering them, but I don't care. I'm going to make you answer them anyways. What was that? I mean, what did that entail when you go to a camp? Are you getting critiqued the whole time? Are you reffing games the whole time? Is it all classroom? What was going on to prep you to become a future NBA official?
Yeah, camp is basically like a week-long job interview. So there's classroom involved. They teach, they break down video, and then each day you'll be assigned a game to work as well. So you start in the morning with class, and then there's, I think, roughly 4 games a day. You would get one of those, and then that game would be critiqued and then broken down afterwards.
And so you're working with all prospective NBA officials, correct? I mean, nobody there is saying, I'm just here for fun.
No, you were either a prospective non-staff referee, or like your first 4 years in the NBA, you're eligible to be called to summer camp. So then those people would be the crew chiefs in the game, and then the people who were trying to get hired, they would be, the referees and umpires. So we would get a chance to work with some very new NBA referees doing.
All right, you're gonna smile when I ask you this question, but I need you to kind of filter it as best as you can. Okay,
I'm ready,
because I've heard this story, and it's my favorite Pat Fraher story, and I ask other people to listen to this all the time, because We're always training. And people know, Pat, that I'm a referee around here, good or bad. And I got, so I got that reputation, and I try to explain to them, some of the difficulties of it and some of the things that, we're expected to be professional. We're expected to do our job. We're expected to smile. We're expected to be diplomatic with coaches. Can you please somehow, in the best way possible, tell us the story of how you broke through for those guys? And I know which game it was, and you're going to have to filter it as best you can. You got to take out some of the language that happened and whatnot. But there was a game, and I believe it was, oh goodness, I can't think of the referee who was evaluating, but you were young and you took control of that game. You know which one I'm talking about? I believe it was in Dallas. Does that make sense?
Was it a summer camp game?
I believe it was a summer camp game where you ended up taking charge of that game, and it kind of pushed you through. Do you remember which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, we're going back to 95.
Oh, that's way back.
Yeah, that was at Coast to Coast referee school.
Okay. Can you tell everybody that story as best as you can?
Well, since it's a limited interview here, let's just say that
I got 7 minutes, Pat. I mean,
yeah.
you go for it, big guy.
Well, it was two teams. If I remember correctly, they were from California. They were rivals, and they were getting after it, and it was a heated game, and it just started with one of the players popped off, and he got a technical foul, and
from
then
you, right?
From me, and then the assistant coach didn't like it, so he got a technical foul, and then the head coach didn't like it, so he got a technical foul, and then the assistant coach kept going, so he got teed and thrown. So to make a long story short, we had 9 technical fouls and 5 ejections.
And all by you, correct?
Yeah, I should say I had 9 technical fouls and 5 ejections.
But the best part of the story is when you went in and got evaluated about it afterwards.
Right. So I'm thinking to myself, going, I probably just refereed my last game.
I'm done. And just let me interject, Pat, is that is something that just people don't get away with. It doesn't matter the level. You do that at high school, you're the problem, right? Or typically. So go ahead, continue.
So we get in classroom later that night, and Daryl Garrettson, who was the NBA supervisor at the time, spoke, and the topic was brought up as far as what happened on court 2, and so I'm slumping down in my seat. I'm just trying to hide, and Daryl just said that, you know what? He goes, I wasn't there, but from what I heard, I would have had just as many technicals and just as many ejections. So my head kind of popped up like, I'm still alive. I got a chance.
Yeah. Didn't he call you the kid? Because you were really young, right?
Well, Daryl was the boss, but his son Ron, who was on staff, ran the camp. So Ron would have his dad Daryl come speak. Ron's nickname for me was Junior.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, breakthrough moment, because a lot of officials are afraid to give out those. They think that a technical foul or any of that is it's like throwing somebody in jail rather than just giving them a speeding ticket, Right. And so I remember you telling that story, and I was like, I hope everybody can hear this. And it doesn't mean go out and give technicals, but it just means you handled your business. And they said, we like a guy that handles his business.
That's right. Just another call.
Well, it's funny you say that, Pat, because I don't think everybody views it as it's just another travel. It's in your tool belt, and we try to explain that to our guys. But you know how it is. We have one guy in our association, Pat. I think he's been 26 years, never given a technical.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's proud of that. So, okay, so when were you hired by the NBA?
2001.
Okay, so you've been with them ever since, right?
Yep.
And what does an NBA official schedule kind of look like for the year? We know that the teams play 82 games. What's a Pat Fraher schedule? Are you 70 games, 55 games?
Well, I'll give you a pre-COVID schedule. How's that?
Yeah, do that. Yep.
Yeah. So typically, we'll work 12 to 14 games a month, which means we're on the road, 25 days a month, starting in mid-October and then going through mid-April for the regular season. And then the playoffs will go, mid-April through mid-June. Now that's normal. So 2 years ago, when the season stopped in March, they developed the bubble down in Orlando, and we didn't finish until October. So this year started early, and I think we started in December, right before Christmas, and the regular season will go through mid-May. So it's basically pushed back a month, but we're slowly getting back to hopefully starting on time.
Pat, what does that do to home life for you? I think a lot of people view these jobs as glamorous and that only the prestigious get to do stuff like this. But talk a little bit about the home life, what that does in the scheduling and how you deal with getting to your daughter's volleyball games and things like that.
Yeah, it's tough. We end up missing a lot during the season for obvious reasons. I try to make up for it during the off season, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's the toughest part. I'm blessed to have a wife that keeps the fort down, and she's self-sufficient.
Well, she's had to learn to be, right. My wife used to say that during the golf season, and then in the winter I made it up. So I don't think I do as good of a job as you do at that, but I'm still learning. We're young yet, Pat. I found that out. We got a lot of time left to figure this out. So Pat, give me so young kid listening to this, he wants to get into officiating. What's one thing that you would say to him if he says, I want to be high end, I want to be high level officiating? What's the best advice you could give a kid like that?
I would try to seek out the most knowledgeable referees you can get in front of and listen to them, get taught by them. The advice I give to officials is to concentrate on improvement over advancement.
Ooh.
So there's a referee shortage across the country. So there's going to be more good games than there are good referees. So do your due diligence, get educated, and then go get hired. It's go get your education and then go to the job interview. Don't try to reverse those. Some referees are too much of a hurry to get hired, and they're not ready to get hired.
Well, that's a really good take, and I agree with that 100%. And Pat, 20 minutes goes fast. I'm already done, and I'm going to have you on again if that's okay.
You got it.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much. Good luck with the rest of your season, and say hi to your wife and kids for me, and I hope to golf with you soon.
All right, brother.
All right, Pat. That's Pat Fraher, NBA referee. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, everybody.